welcome to the Counterattack playthrough series. We are continuing with the series on Operation Dauntless, and we're starting scenario T3, T meaning tutorial, 3 the third scenario of the tutorial series, and it's called Recon Roundup, and it's again, like all the other tutorials, really streamlined rules down just to teach one or two key aspects of the game, and this current scenario's aspect is the carrier units, these carrier platoons the British have. They're essentially like a half track minus the truck portion, kind of. You can see one. This is a pretty amazing picture of one sort of jumping across the land there. But in prior scenarios, we were treating them as infantry, and so their movement was considered 5. But now we're treating them as what they're intended to be, which is a platoon, see the 3 dots, of infantry mounted in these carriers. So their movement is actually 15, pretty fast compared to foot infantry. This superscript here, this 4, that's their retreat distance, their max retreat distance, because normally your retreat distance is your movement factors minus 2. So they don't retreat 13, these guys only retreat 4. And there's some other cool things about them, so let's check out the scenario setup. For this scenario, we're going to be using most of the map, but not very many units. Let's kind of zoom in down here. So right here, we see all these guys combined make up a German recon company that is dug in some fields. I know it's a company because each of these is a platoon, 3 dots, and 3 platoons plus extras make a company. So those guys are dug in there. Now over here, I guess this is to the north, are 2 British infantry battalions. I know they're battalions because they're made up of 3 companies. Well, I guess I'm thinking American, but actually they're made up of 4 companies, so I know a vertical line is a company, 1, 2, 3, 4 in this color. Plus they have a Carrier Platoon and machine gun units attached, so there's another battalion there. Okay, and then down here, off map, which is, you can kind of see right here, these guys are off map, that's another battalion. And then there's this recon company consisting of 3 carrier platoons. And then way down here, we have basically a German infantry battalion. So the goal for this scenario is for these British here to, they have to destroy the German recon units. If they don't, they lose. They also have to capture the town of Roré. Sorry, French speakers, I don't know how to pronounce that. It's probably like Roré, something like that. But I won't force you to listen to that, so I'm just going to call it Roré. This scenario has a variant, and I'm going to use the variant rules. So the variant rules add an extra turn, so it's 4 turns instead of 3. An extra tough victory condition, which is the British have to capture all 4 hexes of Roré by the end of the last turn, instead of 3. And what else? Oh, there's also some movement restrictions normally on the British. Those are all lifted. So that's the situation. The British go first, so let's get cracking. Okay, first things first, I want these 2 battalions, one's here and one's slightly off camera, to attack and destroy these guys here. And the whole point of this scenario, the main point, is to teach the use of these carrier platoons. A lot of people comment on the videos like, oh, that seems too simple, or that doesn't seem logical, like certain rules. But just keep in mind, these tutorial scenarios have wiped out so many rules that if you're playing the full game, you probably wouldn't recognize the game. So, be patient for the full game. But right now I'm going through these tutorials. So I want to get these carriers using their rapid movement behind these units so that I can try to get a concentric attack on them, and also to prevent them from retreating when I move in attack. And then I'll move in my slow infantry up to the front. So fast guys try to get behind, slow guys get in front, do big combat. This scenario, there's no ranged attacks, just like in the first 2 scenarios. But I can do combat and assaults. There are no limitations on visibility or line of sight. So I can do both of those. So that is the first scenario where I can combine them, I believe. Yeah. Okay, so let's get going. So another aspect of these Carrier Platoons, besides moving fast, they have a yellow box around their movement. So that means they move a little differently from regular old infantry. Fields cost 1, just like infantry. Light bocage costs 2, so it's a little slower. Now we're starting to see some terrain differentiation in these later scenarios. Heavy bocage and village cost 3. And then woods cost 6, so woods are really bad for those things. So they also ignore zones of control, so that's huge. So let's go ahead and get this guy moving. I think he's gonna go 1. These roads are half. 2, ignoring zone of control, I don't have to stop. 3, 4, 5, 6. Perhaps you're wondering, how could that guy possibly just zoom by those guys and not get attacked? Well, there's other rules later when we add the full rules of the game that bad things could happen. Not in this scenario though. Okay, got that guy down there. Let's get the other one out there. So, and I could be like moving these guys up to an assault, but I don't want to do that. 1, 2, 2.5, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's really easy for those guys to get down there. Okay, we'll do these lighter green guys, move them up. 1, 2, 3, 4. They have to stop, enter zone of control, and he'll go ahead and join them. This guy's 1, 2, 3, 4, and just move all their buddies up. Okay, so what's that? The Lincolnshire, maybe? It says Link battalion. Okay. Sorry, my British comrades. I don't really know the names of your units. Let's see, and this is Hal. I don't know what that is, but this battalion, let's move that up now. So let's see if it's going to be a little tougher, I think, maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, this guy only goes 4. 1, 2, just 2.5. 1, 2, 2.5, or 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have that combat situation set up. By the way, we are on turn 1. It's a British player turn, and we're in the action phase. Let's go check out the other portion of the British attack. Here it is. These guys got these recon units, which are carrier platoons, and then another battalion coming on the map. It's just going to pay the movement cost to get onto the map. What I want is I need to rush these guys down to Rore, seize it, almost like cavalry in older times, seize it, and then wait for the slow infantry to catch up. So they're going to try to seize it before those Germans. Let's see, where are they? They're there. Way down there. Those Germans are going to try to get into Rore to prevent the British from getting in, so we want our scouts to rush down there. Okay, so this guy's going to use this nice road. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we got an even nicer road, but same movement rate. 6. Clear only costs 1, so 7. These brown roads cost 1, but they allow you to ignore the terrain you're going through. So 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. I have 15 movement. What do I want to do here? Well, we'll go 12. Now I still have 3 moves. Should I like deploy forward of the town to try to like interdict those guys coming up? That might cause me to, get ambushed or something. I think I'm just gonna go, I don't know, one more and capture this location in the town. Okay. Now, all the other recon platoons were right next to each other, so I'm just gonna zip. And then the third one, zip. Okay, so now, those Germans are look pretty tough, so they could cause some mayhem here, but they're also pretty slow. I mean, they move 5, but we'll see. We'll see what's going to go down. Okay, now back here for this battalion coming on. Well, it has one. It's like just like all the other battalions. So let's move this guy. So I think he's gonna. He has plenty of movement to get into the town as well. I'm just gonna count it out though, just for practice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5. I'm just gonna throw the half away. 7 and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, I had plenty of movement, so I could just stop there. But I think I'm gonna move forward a little and get this sort of more exposed location potentially, depending on how those guys come in, set up. Okay, then the rest of these guys are just going to rush down there to try to relieve the cavalry. I'm just going to kind of remember they're all coming from the same location, so I can quickly teleport some guys once I realize how far they can go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not very far, so we'll just teleport these guys. So British stacking rules, you can't have more than 2 infantry companies, so that was 5. Let's go back to 4, and then we'll go 5 like that. And then, no, we'll just stop short here at 4.5. We'll throw some more guys. And then the machine guns lower. 1, 2, 3, 4. So couldn't go quite as far. Now, there is a rule about extended movement on roads. I don't think I can use it here, but let me double check and at least tell you about it. Yes. So if you start your turn on a road, which these guys did, even though they started off-road, it's because they're crossing a road hexside, they can be considered starting on a road, and your entire movement's on a road, you can get 2 extra movement points, but only if you are never more than 4 or closer than 4 hexes to an enemy unit. So, something like that. And these roads here cross too close to those enemy units. So these guys don't feel comfortable going like full speed knowing enemy are near. Okay, so I believe that's it. The British are ready to do some attacks here. Let's see, I guess I don't really care which one I'm doing first. I'm gonna go in on this one here. So we're doing a combat. So the defender has 4 combat strength. This is 8, 16, 19, 24. It's 24 to 4 is 6 to 1, so that's off the chart. That's okay. We still have to adjust things first. Everyone's in fields, so there's no field bonus. If one side was not in a field, then there'd be a field bonus to the other side. Dug in, 1 left, so now we're down to 5 to 1. This is a concentric attack. When British do concentric attacks, you get a +1, so we're back to 6 to 1. There's also an armor bonus. I mentioned these guys are armored. They're not armored like a tank, but they are armored vehicles, and they get to use the armor bonus that's available to like armored vehicles. So that's 1 more right shift. So that goes to 7 to 1. And normally in the game, which we haven't covered this yet, but you get the armor bonus if the armor is attacking with infantry, and this is the case here. But that doesn't have to be the case. If this guy was attacking alone, he would still get the armor bonus. If you look at it, it's infantry plus their armored units. It's like this hybrid unit, so I think that's why they don't have to have other infantry with them. Okay, so we're at 7 to 1. I don't see any other bonuses. So 7 to 1. Now we max it out. Combat results table. Max column is 5 to 1. So we're rolling on 5 to 1. I mean, this is going to be devastating because every single result is at least 1 hit. Got an 11, which of course is absolutely devastating. That's 6 losses. These guys are 1-step units. They can't retreat, or they could retreat through enemy zone of control, but retreating through enemy zone of control, you must take an additional loss per hex you're going through. So they're obliterated. Okay, and then we'll advance the larger stack in. Okay, well that was easy. Let's do the other one. Okay, so it's a little different. So let's see, we got the same number coming in, so that's 24 to 4, but you double the machine gun because it has a black outline, or black square. So that's 24 to 6, which is 4 to 1. This takes it down to 3 to 1. Concentric attack back up to 4 to 1. Some of the attackers are in fields. This guy's not in a field, he's in light bocage, right? Yeah, oops, that's light bocage. But some of the attackers are in non-field, these guys, so that's canceled out. So sorry, that was 4 to 1, 3 to 1. Concentric attack goes back to 4 to 1. Armor bonus 5 to 1. So we're still at max. Roll a 6. 0, 3. Lost number 1, lost number 2, dead. Retreating would kill them as well. Okay, so I guess I figured out the trick. You know, I thought about this for a little bit, but figured out the trick that the scenario is going to teach. Those guys are placed there so that you can just obliterate them with one attack. Okay, that's all the attacks, and that is the British portion of turn 1. Okay, time for the Germans. Reset phase, nothing to reset. By the way, I mentioned this each time, but you're supposed to rotate units to keep track of what's moved or fired or whatever. I'm not doing it when it's easy for me to remember. When it gets hard, like maybe once there's like a little melee going on down here, I'll start rotating them. Okay, so we got this German battalion up here. It's composed of 3 infantry companies and 3 machine gun, I don't know if they're platoons or teams or what, but we got pretty tough company, or battalion. So I'm going to move them. So I guess I can try to decide, do I want to assault? Looking actually at the movement factors available, I can't assault. I think the best I can get is like 1, 2, 3, 4, right there, 5. That's their max move. And even if I can go 1, 2, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, yeah, I can't get 5.5 in there. And if I still had 1 extra movement point, I still couldn't do it because you have to pay an extra movement point to assault. I didn't do that in scenario T2 because the heavy fog eliminated that requirement. But so these guys can't assault, so they're going to move up for a combat situation. And I think I spotted a weakness in my plan here. So I'm going to move these guys one at a time for starters. So it's coming on the board. There is a road coming in, so you can go 1, 2, 3. Oop, 1, 2, 3. And then 4. It's got 1 movement point left. You can move right into this light bocage. 5. Let's bring another one and go in like this. 5. Let's see, who would have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Machine gun. Let me see what I can do with these guys. I don't want them to be in a spot where they can be destroyed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they're gonna just sort of get in over here. It'd be nice to maybe get them up here and try to like block the reinforcements coming. It's just not gonna happen though. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're just too slow. In future scenarios, I'm assuming I will be able to flip them. Oh, these guys have no transport, so never mind. The British ones have transport attached. Okay, so we're just going to come 1, 2, 3, 4, and they'll be positioned for next turn. And I'm going to bring up another. I'm just going to put all 3 together. That's a pretty tough defensive stack. No one's going to be able to kill them, and then they can help out next turn. That leaves me 1 more company of infantry. We'll put it here. And that's the German action phase. Now for their combat phase. So do I want to do a big attack here? 21 to 5, man, that's 4 to 1. First time I've had Germans actually do an attack. 4 to 1, 4 to 1. It's going to be, they're going to have an armor bonus, I believe. Let's see, armor bonus. Yeah, it's not just for attacking, it's for defending as well. I do want to go look in the rules. My cheat sheet, like the chart doesn't say anything about the terrain. I'm just, some games like say, you know, armor doesn't have a bonus in hard terrain or whatever. So I'll just go double confirm that, but let's just say they get the armor bonus. So this is going to be 1 shift for close terrain, 1 shift for armor bonus. So that takes the 4 to 1 down to a 2 to 1. And I think that's it. Okay, so let me just double check the armor bonus rule. Okay, there's no such thing. Terrain canceling out the armor bonus, so we have that. So, you know, might as well do it. 2 to 1 looks actually pretty good on the combat results table. There are a few results that are not so hot. Here we go. First German attack I've ever had. I rolled a 4, which, oh man, a 4 is a 1-0. Oh, are there any other? I'm just looking to see if there's any other ways I missed. Nope. To move the column. Okay, 1-0. Ah, man, that is unfortunate. So we'll go ahead and, well, I could retreat. Oh, but your first loss in a combat must be a step loss, unfortunately. So this guy will flip. Could have pushed that guy out. Oh well, that's the German turn, and turn 1. Turn 2, British reset phase, action phase. These guys are all going to move. Look at all these guys. How are the Germans possibly going to win this? I guess they have to push one of those carrier guys out of the town and just like dig in like a tick. If they can't dig in, no way. Okay, so that's a lot of guys to move. I'm going to move them off camera and then tell you what happened. Okay, all those guys move down to here. They're still not quite where they need to be. These guys actually, I got to use the extended road bonus. I may have missed one guy that could have, but not everyone started on roads, so that may have been the only one. And then down here, I moved the carrier platoons down. They were able to rush down to reinforce their buddies. So one came down. This guy came down. Is that the one? Yeah. And this guy came down as well. No, this guy. So they came down. This cost 3 to go in. This heavy bocage. I also took the guy that was in this location, the recon guy, and slid him through over to here. So that costs 1 movement point, ignore zone of control, 2, 3, 4. So the reason I set up this way, and I have 2 hexes of Rory, undefended, is because I wanted to get these guys zone of controls projected all through here. Also, I didn't want this heavy bocage unoccupied because these guys can scoot through the heavy bocage, ignoring zone of control. So, and they have a movement of 5. That's pretty good. So now with this situation, imagine the zone of control. This guy, he could leave this zone of control and then he'd immediately stop if he was trying to get around. He can come the long way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, he can't get around. And then this way, trying to get around, same thing. It, you know, takes just too much movement point to get around. So by moving forward, I think that's good for defense. 10 defensive points in each of those locations. Germans are screwed. So maybe there'll be something creative I can do. But still the British turn. We have a situation here. They could do a 30 to 10 attack with armor bonus. So that would be 4 to 1. I don't see any other bonuses going on. 4 to 1. That is worth doing. Got a 3. Oh man. The British, these attacks aren't so hot, so it's a 1-1. So that does mean the British are going to take a loss. I'm going to take it from this guy. I could also retreat someone. Oh, no, I can't. The first loss has to be a step loss. I'm going to take it from this hex since it's harder to get many units in there, though the Germans could stack a lot in there. So he's going to flip. Still a strong position. And then defense takes 1. They do not have to take it as a loss. Now I'm trying to see the situation here, like if I retreat them, they'll be overstacked. And you have to go away from the attacker. So this is the candidate hex. I need to look at the other retreat rules we have. Yeah, so retreat priority. You cannot, you want to avoid the hex that where your last location, where you end up in your retreat, you would not lose a unit due to overstacking. So these guys only retreat one because it's one loss. So they go there. They can't go here or here. Well, they wouldn't want to go there. So if they went there, they would overstack. So that eliminates that as the next hex to go into. Then you're not supposed to go across a map boundary, no problem. Then the next worst thing is the enemy zone of control. Well, those are the lesser evils according to the rules, and so they would go here or here. And then finally, you know, they're supposed to try to get away from the guys that attacked them. So in that case, no matter what, they're gonna take a loss. So I'll just take another loss. Did the Germans? Let's see. So if I eliminate this guy, that's a unit permanently gone, or I can reduce this guy, and it go. You know, the defense would be 7 there, or I can reduce him, and it would be 6, but I'd have 2 of those guys. I think that's gonna do. So they're gonna take the loss. Oh well. I still feel like I have a very slight chance with the Germans, but not much. That's the end of the British turn. Okay, German portion of turn 2. Reset phase. Action phase. Well, I need to get into these hexes. This is probably the best hex, because I think I can possibly get a concentric attack. German concentric attacks are double the strength of British. They get 2 right shifts instead of 1. So this guy's going to pay 1 to leave the enemy zone of control, and 1 to enter a light blockage. So that's 2 movement points, has 3 left. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So right now we got a concentric attack situation. I like that. Can I get this machine gun up there? 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Can I get one of these guys up there? 1, 2, 2.5, 3.5. No. Well. I really like the concentric attack situation, even though these guys are at risk of another 30 to 1 or worse, or 30 strength attack. So what I could do is move 2 machine guns in. They have double strength on the defense, so that would be a defense of 8, 14. I like. Then this guy, he's at risk of being destroyed, but I'm just gonna move him up. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. I guess he's just gonna go here into this light blockage, hoping to push these guys out of here. That's all I can do, man, because these guys coming down, I need to get into that hex before they come down. They're just gonna fill in these hexes and make it impossible. In fact, if that happens too early, this might be like call the scenario, but let's go. All right, German combat phase. 7 plus 3 is 10, plus 4 is 14, plus 3 is 17, plus 2 is 19. Oh man, 19 to 10. 19 to 10. That's not quite 2 to 1, unfortunately, so that's a 3 to 2. 3 to 2 column. Okay, but then we got concentric attack. A German's concentric attack is 2. Right. So that goes from 3 to 2 to 3 to 1. Okay, skipping the 2 to 1. So we're at 3 to 1. Armor bonus back to 2 to 1. Close terrain back to 3 to 2. Man, is that all I have? Is 3 to 2 with that attack? I'm just scouring for some bonuses here. 3 to 2. Yep. So I like these guys. They're tough. 3 to 2. Could be worse. I'm looking at the 50-50 chance of something awesome. 3 to 2. Got an 8. 8 is 2 enemy losses. Aha. Okay, so these guys ignore zone of control. I assume for retreats. I'll double check after I resolve this. So, that being the case, I could retreat them 2 spaces, but then the Germans would all pile in. I don't like that. They're going to take 2 losses. They have reinforcements coming. They don't care there. Oh, these recon guys are not 2-step units. Interesting. They're really tough on the front, just like these guys, but weak on the back. I don't care. My recon guys died. They did their job. Their job was to rush up and hold. Okay? And that just put a stop on the German assault. Well, it's called a combat. That is the end of turn 2. Okay, turn 3. By the way, retreating through an enemy zone of control when you have the armor bonus means you can ignore the zone of control. So they could have retreated, but I wanted to hold that location. All right, turn 3, British reset phase. Done. British combat phase, or action phase. All right, so it's like the death knell of the Germans, but this mass of troops is moving on down to join these guys that were rushed up. I want to cause destruction here too, so I'm trying to see if there's a way I can like scoot some guys into this location to defend that. I think I can. So these guys will move as a stack. I could be doing assaults too, but I don't really see the need right now. I want to like, because they're more bloody. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3. I'm in close terrain, so I ignore zone of control. 4. Okay, so they got in there, clinched it. Okay, in fact, these guys could have gone in there. So let me go back. That was 4. So we'll go 3. We'll go 4, 5 down to here. You probably would like to see that. So they cruised right through this close terrain. Close terrain you can really move through easily, which is interesting. Okay. These guys. 1. Oh, I can't go through here because of the zone of control. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a little bit weaker there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. That guy's going to be pretty unhappy in a moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, and might as well go 5 into the close terrain here. And then we got this guy. 1, 2. We'll just stay back here. These guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think if I was a little bit more careful, I might be able to get them up there. But 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. That was the British action phase. This guy didn't do anything. He could try to recover, but he would forgo being able to attack. I want him attacking because I want that armor bonus when we're going over here. This guy, I could actually try to recover. So let's see, looking at the modifiers, he is a carrier platoon. That's a -1, or I have to try to roll a 6. So -1, if it was all by itself, it essentially makes it impossible to recover because I need a 6. But he's also in a village, +1. Looks like all the others don't matter. So we just need to try to roll 6. 6? Man. Flip them. All right. That is awful. Combat phase. 8, 16, 19, 22 to 7. That's a 3 to 1. Concentric attack, 4 to 1. Armor bonus, 5 to 1. Defender in a field, attackers not in a field, 6 to 1. But max 5 to 1. I think I did all that right. 9, 9 on 5 to 1 is 0-4. Okay, let's see what we can do here. I think he can survive. It's not like, it doesn't matter though. Okay. There's not a lot of choices. He's gonna go 1 and it entered an enemy zone of control, takes another loss, but that doesn't count as his loss, total losses though. So I had to take 3 losses, so by retreating 1, cut it down to 2 losses. Still has 2 losses to go. Then I'll go like this. He's at the map edge, not allowed to bail on the map edge, so come down here. He is retreated. So I think these guys here are going to advance. And yeah, wow. Now it could be, do I want to attack this just to make it impossible for the Germans to win? 10, 15, and 16 is 31. I'm not counting this guy. 31 to 8, 31 to 14. We're looking at what, 2 to 1, armor bonus 3 to 1. I'd say that's a 3 to 1 attack. Yeah. 3 to 1 coming in. Ooh, 5. 5 on 3 to 1 is 0-1. And these guys are just gonna go, yep. These guys are not advancing, they are staying in that heavy bocage. That's the British turn. Okay, Germans. German portion of turn 3. I think this is their only chance, and even if they pull it off, they probably can't. I can no longer get a concentric attack situation, I don't think, anywhere. So we're just going to try to hammer this, hopefully advance after combat into there. Hope the machine guns can help hold those guys off, attackers off. But I doubt I will even get in. So we're going to go bam. 1, 2. 1, 2, because I left zone of control 3. Okay, it's probably how they would attack in real life, each company with its machine gun. Okay, so we got 5, 10, 15, 15 to 11. Let's see, 15 to 10 would be 3 to 2, so it's 15 to 11, so that means it's only 1 to 1. 1 to 1, shift down twice for close terrain, armor bonus. Do I even want to do that attack? That's a 1 to 2 attack. Best I can do, looks like a 0-2. 1 to 2, 0-2. Well, I'm just going to do it. I mean, there's no point in just sitting there and not winning. Really, I want to roll a 12. And I rolled a 9. So 1 to 2 on the 9. That's a 1-1. Let's take the first loss as a step loss. Kill that guy. These guys, they're like, yeah, I'm not retreating. German turn done. So I think by playing the variant, which limited like how the British would have had some little more limited movement. Like I think some of the British units aren't allowed to like come like this close, and only a small portion of them can come this close. Made it really hard for the Germans. I don't know. I think it would have been hard anyway. But I'm going to call it, even though there's 1 turn left. There's no way those Germans are getting in there. Like on the British turn, they're just going to like shuffle more guys in there, get some machine guns in there. No way Germans can win. So, but that's cool because I really learned the value of these recon guys. Though or these carriers. I didn't realize these recon guys are so brittle though. Maybe that means they have fewer AFVs or whatever. Or AFVs, armored fighting vehicles? No, I guess those are APCs. Fewer APCs than these guys, and so it's easier to kill them? I don't know. So anyway, that was fun. Yeah, nice and short, which means I'm going to be ready for the next scenario. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.